talking to. But then again, you still got to be careful with who you listen to and who you talk to about certain things. Because I I gotta say this very delicately. We can talk about these things all day, but you say one thing that's wrong, and you'll have people believing something that is not at all accurate. You might have had the I might have the best intentions, but I could still not knowing stir you in the wrong. So I would say do the research and try to find out for yourself whether or not this is real or not. But I think evidence suggests that it gotta be some truth to it. I don't think I've ever come across anyone that I've never had some type of a tie to at some point. I've met people and had dreams about them just randomly. Why am I having dreams about someone that you know, only seen for maybe 5 minutes or maybe for like a day? Or why am I connecting or tying everything that I see in real life to someone that I met 3, 4 years ago? It's got to be some evidence to it being real. Now, how do you feel about it? Do you think that you could objectively give someone a real response or real answer to that question in a way that they'd be okay with hearing it from you and moving forward with the information that you give them? How would you approach that?
I think you can only give a person an answer based off of your experience, right? So what's true to you may not necessarily be true to somebody else. So you can only be truthful in um, what you say. And I like what you said. You just got to be careful on how you say things, how you talk about certain subjects. Um, Me personally, I as a if you're religious person, you're going to probably believe one thing, right? And if you're a non-religious person, you're probably going to believe something else. So um, I think when you talk about things like soul ties, it's going to lead to a bigger discussion based on, and it's going to lead you down a road where it's going to end up on, and what do you believe? Because most likely a person that is not a religious person or a spiritual person is not going to believe in soul ties. They're just going to tell you this coincidence that your dreams is, you know, your dreams of this person is manufactured, or you might have happened to see them, or they're going to give you some kind of other explanation. But you, being a man of faith, you're going to look at it more uh, from a spiritual context because that is what you believe in. And I'm not, so me personally, Christian, I have very religious, even though I don't, wear it on my chest, I have certain beliefs. So those things are going to guide the way I walk, going to guide the way I think, right? But if I'm that person, I talk to everybody. Hey, what do you think? Hey, how are you doing? So somebody that doesn't have those same beliefs that I have, we're going to end up hopefully having a good conversation where it conversation makes us both think. But at the end of the day, we're probably going to walk away from each other, like from the aspect of we'll just agree to disagree. But I think the conversation has to be brought from a level of respect from both sides.
Absolutely. You get nowhere when you're going in circles trying to disprove the other person's concept theory or just their perception of any of it. Like, we can sit here and be like, all right, I hear what you're saying. I see it this way, but I respect where you're coming from. Respectfully, I disagree. And you can continue on and pursue the truth however you see fit later on. Or you could take what I said and I could take what you said. I can look into it, you know. I think the more optimal response to that would be to listen to both sides, take it into consideration, weigh out the information given to you, and then from there process it, and then make a determination whether or not this is the best avenue or course for you to take. A lot
I'm
of
glad.
people go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. The little lag.
No, I was just going to say a lot of people are quick to hear but not really necessarily listen, and because all you do is hear, you miss things when you only hear. You miss things when you hear, and so now you're walking along this path, cherry picking at tidbits of words that you heard versus listening and actually processing what it actually meant in the first place. And you find yourself more confused and lost before you even engaged in the dialogue in the first place. So
Yeah, I was going to agree with you there. I think if you want to have a real honest conversation with somebody, especially somebody that doesn't agree with you, I think you have to, when you had a conversation, there's two ways you can go into it. You can go into the conversation and you're just listening to retort, to give up, to tell them that they're wrong, or you can listen to understand. And if you listen to understand, it's going to be a different conversation than me just listening to you. And I'm not even really listening to you. I'm just waiting for you to pause so I can tell you that you're wrong. So that's not a conversation. That's just
no, that's facts. I had to give you that. No,
I
you
know.
good.
All right. I need like 2 minutes. I got my pop. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Got you. I got you. Um, it's a conversation that we should have. Every conversation that we have is not going to be comfortable. It's going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. Let's just be completely transparent here. When you get into a disagreement with someone for whatever reason, the respect factor, first of all, has to be an element within that structure that you created with the other person. If you don't respect the person that you are having these conversations with, what happens is it's never going to go in the direction that it actually should go because you don't respect the person. And sometimes it's one sided where one person doesn't respect the other person. So they'll kind of just brush everything that you say off. A real healthy balance would be for there be a level playing field for both parties. So you can be able to express whatever you need to without someone sitting there kind of with marbles rolling around in their head the whole time you're talking, compared to if you have someone that's actually paying attention to everything that you're saying. And once you finish talking, then they can actually reply to you in a way that's not going to be chaotic and pointless. Because what's the point of having a conversation with anyone if you're not really going to have a actual conversation with the person? And you're just talking just to be talking. You're wasting your time and your energy and the other person's. So I believe and truly feel it's important and it's imperative, especially when you want to get into the realms of speaking on, well, you have this person as a best friend, or you have this person as a ex lover, or whatever the case may be. You intertwine with certain things and certain people. You can pick up their habits, you can pick up their traits. You don't really necessarily always realize it, but you take on a part of people that you come into contact with. So, yeah,
Yeah, when I tell kids all the time, the circle you around, you become that circle. The people that you deal with every day, those are your influences. Those are the people that's going to be, you know, because you learn every day. We learn from the people that we're around. We learn from our parents. We learn from our friends. So the group that you associate yourself with, those are the people that you're going to draw those bonds from. Those are the people you're going to learn from, whether it's book smarts, street smarts. You pick up little habits, whether good or bad. You know, so the company you keep is very, very, very important. Uh, People will tell you, you want to, if you want to make something, you know, uh, when you're younger, the older people will tell you, if you want to make something with your life, you got to surround yourself with people that want to become something. Because if you surround yourself with people that don't want nothing, then you're going to be somebody that don't want nothing. Same thing with relationships. If you go into a relationship, you're going to you're going to you want to find somebody that wants the same things that you want, right? You want to find some, like the last time we talked. You want to find somebody that you can build with. You don't want to find somebody that's going to dictate to you. You want to find somebody that you can grow with. If y'all are here, then that other person should be able to, let's help each other climb these steps, right? So those are the things that need to be important to everybody. So you're 100% right. The people you are around, those are the people that, because those are the roots that you grow. Those are the quote unquote, like the saying here or the topic here. Those are the soul ties you grow just from the things you learn, just from the energy, or just from that person's, like, you hear people say all the time, oh, that person has a good spirit, or you get around that person and something's telling you something's not right about that person. So
absolutely. What's interesting about it, you see a lot of these conversations where they speak about a woman's body count, a man's body count doesn't matter, a woman's body count matters more than a man's body count. Um, Things that I think is absolutely ridiculous. At the end of the day, man or woman, if you get entangled with any type of a individual and they have certain characteristics or traits that you know produce a toxic or give indication that their lifestyle is the complete opposite of yours in a very negative way, it will rub off on you, and it's going to transfer to you, and you're going to transfer to someone else, and then the cycle just continues and continues. That's why you see so many people in the music industry or just in our families alone who repeat certain cycles and pass it on to the next generation because of things they picked up from other people, and you not really necessarily knowing that's what's happening can really hurt you. So it's not something that now when I was younger, it was something to brag about, to oh, I had this many X amount of lovers in my past. I met her on one day, I met her on the other day, and so on and so on. I don't look at things like that no more. Now there's men in red pill spaces who try to propagate this idea that if you're of a certain caliber of guy, that you can sleep with as many people as you want, and it's okay because you earned that right, because you put in the hard work to make that type of money and to become that type of valuable guy to the world, that you now have reached a level to where you can do as you please because now you have the notoriety and you have the finances to support being an adulterer, being in the street, being promiscuous. I don't really agree with that. I don't
Well,
agree with.
no, a lot of that just like you said, and that's the way we was taught when we was young. Then let's just, we was taught, don't, you know, as guys, we was, especially black males from inner cities. That's though that thing that you're talking about right there. That's what we was taught. We was taught, okay, go, one, as, as many as you can. Don't settle. We was taught the opposite of um, what you need to do as an adult. And I'm not knocking anybody that you know, and everybody when the person that you're talking about or people that you're talking about that get to a level of financial success and they still need to do those things. That's coming from ego, right? They still need to live that life for other people. Whereas when you get to a certain age and you start to grow up, the saying, I did as and I know I'm butchering this, but when I was a child, I did as a child, and then when I grew up, I put those things to the side. So at a certain point, every guy, again, we was all taught to go, for lack of a better term, to go conquer. And then as you get older, you realize that was some nonsense. But every guy figures that out at his own time. Some guys do it at 15, some guys do it at 20, some guys do it at 50. But then, like that guy that has the finances, once you put money into the mix, right? So now you got now you I can get those things that I couldn't get when I didn't have the money. So now my ego's involved. Now those childhood, things we was taught, that's what you're still chasing. We all been there. That's why I and I'm speaking in generalities, but I think that's why it's easier for women when they break up to find to get back into a new relationship if it comes across their path.